in a galaxy far, far away.
So Caroline Reid took over for Scott Mendelson at Forbes, and she's been on a tear discovering facts about budget shortfalls and budgets that get blown up on Disney movies for Marvel and Lucasfilm, but we are Lucasfilm aficionados here, so this is what we're looking at. This is the kind of thing that I think needs to be done. These are the kind of articles that Caroline Reid did. Disney's Star Wars box office profits failed to cover cost of buying Lucasfilm. Okay. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny cost $100 million more than estimated. Well, yeah. So the Willow budget ballooned beyond $150 million before Disney axed the show. And this, again, doesn't surprise me, but there are so many parallels to The Acolyte as far as the shell game that they're playing with, was played with money. I can't even. It's like a bunch of mafioso descended on England and opened up, corporations in the same building. You just wait till you see that. I've got that too. Because I went to Company's House. And it's interesting. So, all right, remember when John Kasdan said, no, Willow's just on pause. It's not canceled. Well, it's canceled. A year ago, this month, as Kathleen Kennedy is in the auditorium to watch Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, she discovers the Star Wars hotel is gone. And Willow was taken off the streaming service. It's for tax purposes. Okay. The budget was beyond what it should have been, and it was poorly written shit. It was one of the lowest rated shows on Disney Plus. And Nepo Baby, John Kasdan, of course he's gonna cry about it. So we've got this shell company called Barking Lion Productions in the UK. And this is where you go to actually find just how much money they had. And I've got a PDF with a lot of the stuff, and it's available at companieshouse.gov.uk. You just go and look it up, put Barking Lion in the search, and voila, it's there. But the fact of the matter is, it was over budget by a lot. Okay, and you got to ask why. It's probably because the people who were in charge of making this TV show were not good administrators and did not understand budgets. And that's the only thing I can't come up with. Also, the fact that, interestingly enough, a same-sex relationship in the show, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have the same thing in The Acolyte, okay? This is the beginning of the PDF, and this is what it looks like, Barking Lion Productions, and it's a very interesting thing to look at because it reflects facts that were not necessarily spoken of out loud. And the fact of the matter is that when you're looking at this, you start to see parallels to The Acolyte. Now, Disney did allow this thing to be developed. They put money into it. But there are parallels to The Acolyte, okay? In the same London Hammersmith offices at The Acolyte, offices Blue Stockings was in. Okay, so you got to ask yourself what's really going on here. And again, this is where I wonder, because they share the same offices with Acolyte shell company Blue Stockings. Okay, the show was fraught with obviously budget issues. There was injuries that Disney's being sued over, and yet the actor who got injured is now playing the villain in Fantastic Four, which has implications for Gina Carano, all right? And the show basically took everything that George Lucas created and turned it into woke trash. But of course, Nepo baby John Kasdan, if you don't have any loyalty to the legacy of George Lucas, even though his father, with George standing over his shoulder, wrote The Empire Strikes Back, wrote Raiders of the Lost Ark, wrote Return of the Jedi. Okay, and yet here we are. Him lying about the show, etc. But let's look. Here you go. It says Barking Line Productions, UK Limited, and there's the first thing in the company's house search. And here's the address: 3 Queen Caroline Street, Hammersmith, London. Here's Blue Stockings, UK Limited. And there you go, all right? And this is where you wonder at the vulgar similarities between both productions, okay? Because you're sitting there looking at this going, okay, we have two productions that are similar and yet not similar because Disney okayed one and then did not okay the other. Okay, let's talk further.
In keeping with the trusty adage, starve a cold, disgust a fever. Dad, when are you going to stop blighting the environment with this atrocity? My God, can't you see that it wants to die? Let it go.
Stop. Not one more crooked word. Your tongue could open a wine bottle.
I never had an agent. It's not like she worships the devil.
Well, she doesn't have to. He worships her.
That one just drew a pentagram on the floor and chanted, "I summon thee," 3 times.
Get out.
Here all night.
Get out!
So these are just the dislikes lately for the first Acolyte trailer, over 700,000 now, to 193. And the Acolyte second trailer sits at 69% dislikes. The comments are unbelievable. I look at this thing that Caroline Reed wrote as something of a preview to what she may be writing soon about the Acolyte. The thing about the Acolyte is this show was not okayed by Disney. There are stories that Kennedy and Headland took money from other productions to put into the Acolyte. Now, I don't think it was enough money to actually get the show moving because they at least had $50 million. And this is where funny money from intelligence agencies like MI6 comes in. And similarities between the Acolyte and Willow, same-sex relationship. I think there was a non-binary character in Willow too. It's all, look, it's hard to believe any government agency would get involved in an intelligence scam over a TV show. But then you think history proves that power-hungry maggots often get their jollies from trying to change culture. And what's really interesting is while the article about Willow humiliates Kennedy, Kennedy's last public outing, she did not mention the Acolyte at all. Not even a little bit. And if she's distancing herself away from the acolyte, that just says that the show is dead in the water as far as I'm concerned. Because if this woman has any place, anywhere she can toot her own horn, it's that, okay? And she's got another public disaster on her hands. Now with Caroline Reids saying $150 million for a little simple little fantasy show. And look, why would you give John Kasdan the chance to make a TV show after the catastrophe of Soilo? Again, the article that Caroline Reid wrote, the subtext is Kathleen Kennedy is an incompetent boob. Okay, and it's, look, I've got a pretty good feeling that Bob Iger is the one that said, write this. Because Caroline Reid, I mean, you've got the Lucasfilm movies did not pay for, Star Wars movies didn't pay for Lucasfilm, didn't break even. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny cost over $100 million, or $100 million more than it was supposed to. Okay, and there are excuses here. Harrison Ford got hurt, okay, and no, he didn't separate his shoulder. He did something to his shoulder. It was not a separation. So there you go. It's just, this is just Caroline Reid is whacking at the Kathleen Kennedy piñata. That's what this is. It's the only way I can describe it. And, you know, she's been doing the same thing to Marvel. She just posted an article about Doctor Strange being way over budget. Doctor Strange 2, which wasn't really about Doctor Strange from what I heard. So it looks to me like the magazine of renown for investors, Forbes, is going after Kathleen Kennedy and also Marvel guys. But because it's a Star Wars channel, that's what we look at. The only person who's actually been talked to about the acolyte is Leslie Headland. She's the only one doing any public stuff with it. Okay. And we've got Kennedy ignoring it. So obviously now it looks to me like there's not only a split between those two idiots, that Kennedy realizes she fucked up and is now trying to distance herself. And it's not going to work. She's not, look, this is just another ding shot across the bow from Iger. And trust me, Scotty Mendelsohn never would have done this. Okay? Just another shot across the bow at Iger. And it's again, like I said, the subtext of the article that Caroline Reid put out about Willow is Kathleen Kennedy is a bumbling, incompetent boob. Okay. And that's it. That's what it is in a nutshell. And it's another ding. It's the third or fourth one from Caroline Reid in just the last month. Okay. So you guys keep your eyes open, because this might be the gateway into Caroline Reid going to Company's House to look at the Acolyte books. And usually reporters like this know far more than what they report. Okay? That's what a good investigative journalist does. They keep ammo. They save their ammo. Okay? That's what they do. They find they're not interested in truth, they're interested in facts. Okay? And this is the first time I've seen a reporter in a long time do the job, and do the job like they're supposed to. No bias, no editorializing. It's just, this is what's going on. There you go. Okay? And that's the way you do it. Okay, so there's more coming out. There's a Sigourney Weaver article and Gina Carano stuff. So I'm going to come back and do another video later today. Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.